There we go. Divided as your social media feed might seem, there are things that bring us all together. Maybe weird little things we all experience, but no one talks about. Figured I'd take a look through this list and see if, these are things that happen to me anyway, and how weird they are. You know how some of these threads online go. Sometimes you get very popular responses, and you're like, well, it doesn't even answer the question, but we'll give it a shot. All right, weird things that we all experience or do, but no one talks about. Let's see here. Witnessing a random person doing something really embarrassing to themselves and actively choosing or doing our best to ignore it and moving on. This is empathy. Yeah, I guess. I don't know if I'd consider that weird that we see somebody do something embarrassing, nor would I find it weird that we choose to ignore it. What are you going to do? Point and laugh? I guess some people would. Look at that idiot. Yeah, I don't think most people would point and laugh, but I don't know. Maybe I roll in friendly circles. All right, how about accidentally spitting on someone while talking and acting like nothing happened? That is the worst, is it not? What do they call it? Gleeking? You gleek on someone and just pretend nothing happens? Oh. That could be a really bad situation. You're at somebody's birthday party singing happy birthday, hanging over the cake, and you just spit all over it. Yeah, I think everybody turns a blind eye, don't they? I hope he ain't packing disease. Jeez. Let's see. What else do we got here? Disgustingly brutal, intrusive thoughts. The ones that would shatter your world if it happened. I don't know if that's weird. I think it's part of having a consciousness. And kind of weird. Everybody talks to themselves in their heads, right? Maybe not. I know that it seems like I'm talking to myself inside of my head all the time. And I watched a YouTube video the other day about separating that internal voice from your internal self. We're getting all whoa here right now. But for some reason, something about that clicked with me. And let's say you're prone to bad habits, Oh, I feel like I need to go get some beer or whatever. Something about recognizing that voice and going, oh, that's not really me. That's just the brain firing off thoughts. It is separate from the true me. I don't know, it makes it really easy to cast out that voice. Yeah, I wish I remembered where that video was. I'd probably share it with everybody. Probably gets into some kind of weird, dumb hippie crap as it goes along, but that little part right at the beginning, I'm like, oh, okay, I got what I needed out of this video. Great way to cast out disgustingly brutal, intrusive thoughts. All right, let's see here. What other weird things do we all do? When hot in bed, we don't just throw the covers off, we stick a single leg out. But we don't just dangle it outside the covers, we wrap it around the blanket and clamp it back down. I suppose there is some truth to that. Huh. Having a weird brief tone in one ear? Yeah, that happens. But I have continuous tones in both ears. So if I've got a brief tone in one ear, it's very loud. Very loud. The weird smell you get from your childhood but can never find or replicate if you wanted to. Mine reminds me of white school floors with little black dots all over. Every once in a while I will smell something that reminds me of being a kid, but yeah, I couldn't even pinpoint it like this, where it reminds me of white school floors with black dots all over. It's just like, what is this reminding me of? Becomes more of a deja vu type moment, you know? All right. When a random or embarrassing cringe memory floods the mind and the best you can do is try to blurt out some incoherent words, sounds, melody to distract yourself. I don't know, I just say roll through those. Embrace them. That would count as a brutal, intrusive thought, I would say. Embarrassing and cringe memories are terrible. Oh, the worst. I'm sure everybody does put up with that. I hope I didn't just drive embarrassing and cringe memories into your mind by mentioning them. It happened to me. So that means it's time to shut her down. I'm sure teaching is a rough job. Kids can be terrible, but I don't know about the way they're handling unruly students in South Jordan, Utah. Looking at some pictures here of some small gray padded rooms. And when I say small, I mean small. They're like port-a-potty sized. Padded rooms. And they call them things like seclusionary timeout rooms, isolation boxes, quiet rooms, or calming rooms. Now, these are padded rooms to put children in. Jeez. And apparently these are all over Utah. Yeah, again, kids can be pretty awful, but I don't know about sticking them in a tiny padded room in solitary confinement. How much have you read up on solitary confinement? It's about one of the worst punishments you can give somebody. And you remember when you were a kid, how time just crept by? I miss that. I really do. I mean, it's great that the workday goes by fast as an adult, but the afternoons and weekends, they rocket by, and it sucks. So can you imagine being a kid and getting put into a quiet room for, how long do they put people in there? Holy cow. Let's see. They limit seclusion to no more than 30 minutes at a time. 30 minutes as a kid, a half hour, in a room with nothing. That's as big as a porta-potty. I've told this story on air multiple times about how when I was in elementary school, we were going on a field trip to somewhere or other, and I was talking in the hallway, and my teacher freaked out at me. And on the way to the bus, took me into the office and said I couldn't go. She was a mean lady, this teacher. I won't say her name. So anyhow, the principal's office is like, yeah, you need to stay in the supply closet. They had a little desk in there, and I think I might have had like one book to entertain myself. And I was in there all day, and it was a long day. Long day just by myself, stuck in the supply room in the principal's office. And I told my mom about it afterward, and for a long time, my parents didn't believe me. Like, they wouldn't just lock you in the supply closet. Like, they did all day. Principal was a really mean woman, though. She was, terrible. Terrible woman. So anyhow, I remember how bad that was. And there was stuff to look at. There was a window, And like a book, it wasn't a padded, tiny, it was a tiny room, but it wasn't this tiny. I don't know. As for a solution for how to deal with unruly students, I have no suggestions, but this just doesn't seem like it, all right? When left to your own thoughts as a child for a half hour, it might make you go crazy. I would think this could lead to further disciplinary problems because, you're making these kids nuts. I shouldn't be surprised it's Utah. Oh, geez. How do some kids react to being stuck in the quiet room? Banging against the walls, screaming, crying out for a loved one. Jeez, that's horrible. Oh. All right, I'm not even going to get into the rest of this article, but it does state, no evidence that using restraint or seclusion is effective at addressing underlying behavioral issues. Yeah, well, we're in the day and age of people just turning a blind eye to all kinds of evidence, so shouldn't be surprised. Everybody likes gaming, right? I mean, everybody. Video games? How could you not? I don't know. There've got to be some people out there that don't, but I don't get it. So as big fans of gaming here, we figured with the upcoming time change coming up, and that extra hour you're going to get at about 2 a.m. on Sunday first weekend of November. What better to do with your time than play some video games? So we teamed up with Brent Gordon Law, hooking it up with a Nintendo Switch bundle with Make the Switch. You want to win a Nintendo Switch bundle from K-Bear and Brent Gordon Law? Super easy. Sign up in the K-Bear 101 or Alt 101 apps, and if you're lucky, we will draw you as a winner. Hook you up with a Nintendo Switch bundle just in time for the stupid time change that's coming our way too soon. So yeah, if you're into gaming, might as well fire up the K-Bear app or the Alt app, or even better, both of them, to up your odds. Enter once in each, and then maybe I'll be giving you a call going, congrats! You get to game! You get to play some Switch. So yeah, pretty much simple as that. Enter to win with Make the Switch with Brent Gordon Law and K-Bear 101. Is a cat smarter than your baby? Well, this one should make some people mad. Let's find out if cats are smarter than babies. Yeah, these folks, cognitive scientists at Azabu University, set up 31 cats for a test designed for 14-month-old humans. So what they did is put each cat in front of a laptop, showed the animals 2 9-second animated cartoon images, while broadcasting audio tracks of their owners saying a made-up word 4 times. And then I guess they played these nonsense words while a growing and shrinking blue and white unicorn appeared on the screen, or things like a red-faced cartoon sun grew and shrank. So the cats watched and heard these sequences until they got bored, which was signaled by a 50% drop in eye contact with the screen. Then later on, the images were switched up and paired with the wrong word, and the cats spent 33% more time looking at it, often dilating their pupils, indicating they were aware of the mismatch. And the cats apparently took less time and fewer repetitions to learn than 14-month-old babies. So I guess cats are smarter than babies. My statements over the years about babies being uneducated, proven true. So yeah, all those things your cat does, like knocking stuff off the table, they know what they're doing. They're not just, doing kitty things. They're being vindictive. That's what they're doing. They're messing with you. Yeah. They know when you're telling them, no, stop that, don't do that. They can tell. They just got an attitude problem. Trust me, I know, I got 2 of them. Each with their own types of attitude issues. All right, what else do we have for freaking news? Be careful if you ate a quarter pounder recently. I don't think, according to this article anyhow, that Idaho has had any reports of illness from people eating quarter pounders with cheese, but all of the states around us have. And what they believe led to the E. coli outbreak were the slivered onions on the quarter pounder. So makes me feel better about the fact that anytime I order a quarter pounder with cheese, I always order it with no onions. Slivered onions, beware. I don't know. I would imagine they're getting things under control now, but after that one time I had the norovirus, any type of food poisoning just sounds horrifying and terrible. Ugh. Speaking of issues at restaurants, over in Germany, apparently the most popular pizza at, what was the name of this pizzeria? The article actually doesn't seem to say, but anyway, it was the number 40, which was not a pizza. This was an item ordered on the side. Apparently, this pizzeria was slinging lots of different drugs, but number 40 would have been the order of a side of cocaine. And I guess they just sell the number 40 to anybody, because cops managed to bust the place just by rolling in and going, could I get a number 40? And then no pizza. No pizza rolling out. So, yeah, a lot of folks in trouble there. But yeah, that was in Germany. It wasn't here. I'm sure we don't have any problems like that in the U.S., right? Yeah, sure. Weird post here out of the Idaho Falls subreddit. Apparently, there are a lot of folks in Idaho Falls very protective of their piles of leaves that are out in the road. Now, I don't recall this being a thing in Pocatello, but maybe it is. During this season, before winter hits, after all the leaves fall off the trees in Idaho Falls, you can drag all your leaves out to the curb, and the street sweeper will come pick them up. It's a task I need to get on, like ASAP. Ugh, I don't know why I can't get motivated to do chores. What's the deal? Anyway, let's get to this post. The user said, honest question, because I think I'm missing something here. There's piles of leaves all over the roads in our neighborhood for the city to collect over the next week or two. Our neighborhood is also full of kids. They walk to and from school, ride their bikes, blah, blah, blah. They also like to play with the leaves that are left on the side of the road. These same leaves that get blown around, driven through, and otherwise dispersed over time. For some reason, we've had a few instances of grown men and women literally guarding the leaf piles in the road and actually yelling at kids for so much as touching them. I mean, completely losing their tempers. Help me understand why these piles of leaves in the gutters of public roads are so important. Is there some ordinance I'm not aware of? Or is it that big a deal for these piles to get slightly dispersed as I look out the window and see the wind doing its thing? I just can't imagine caring. Yeah, me either. Jeez. Okay, you rake your lawn and you get a few leaves back in the yard, sure. Tiny bit frustrating. It's not going to be the end of the world, okay? Just wait for winter to be over. It'll be just fine. Let the kids play in the leaves. Again, wind. If you've got the leaves out there right now, the wind is always blowing around here. Your leaf pile is going to get blown back into your yard a little bit at some point in the next couple weeks, because I don't think they start leaf pickup till the first week of November, if I remember right. But, yeah, what are people's problems here? I've never seen anybody losing their mind at kids for playing in the piles of leaves. Now, if the leaves are on the concrete, kids jumping into piles of leaves could lead to an injury or something. Maybe that's it. They're paranoid about kids being hurt. I would like to hope that's the justification behind this, but I don't think it is. I think it's, don't mess up my pile of leaves. And I mean, last year, I put some leaves out in the road, and then it snowed before leaf pickup. That pile of leaves remained in my gutter under snow until the beginning of the spring season. And I'd get out there, I'd be trying to snow blow in front of my mailbox so the, post office doesn't complain. And I'm just blasting leaves all over the place. You never know what's going to happen. So those leaves could very easily end up back on your lawn just from shoveling when winter hits, if we end up getting some snow before leaf pickup happens. Well, this year, I hope to drag all of the leaves out there. I've got a lot of leaves in my backyard, and it'll be a gigantic pile of leaves out front. I hope it doesn't end up getting stuck under snow, because it was so frustrating trying to shovel, and I'm scooping up just, thick layers of compressed leaves, and then I end up having to just make a big mess. It was terrible. Winter sucks. Anyway, let the kids be kids. Let them have a little bit of fun, all right? Still got to get out and see that Terrifier 3. I don't know, I'm so busy. Or, no, I'm not so busy. I should be so busy. I've got tons of yard work that needs done. My house is a mess. And I get home, deal with the cats, and inevitably, some kind of drama erupts. Every day. And maybe it's not like drama. It just seems like things that eat up my time. Like, what happened in the last few days that was a little bit aggravating? Okay, if it comes to paying bills, that tends to be an aggravation that eats up a lot of time. I hate paying bills. I'm sure everybody does. Unless you've got all the money in the world and you just don't care. Paid some bills yesterday. I'm like, ugh! Just because it makes me mad. Because, you just can't get ahead. Yeah, radio ain't the business it was in the 80s, everybody. I mean, I'm grateful. I've got a job. I'm able to pay for my outrageous mortgage with the crazy interest rates that we're dealing with nowadays. But yeah, getting ahead, no. So I pay my bills and I'm like, oh, go downstairs. I'm like, oh, I'll let the cats outside. That'll be nice and fun for them. The kitten loves to go outside. Let's let her outside. Open the door, and she walks out, and there's this neighbor cat you may have heard me talk about before, Yuri. That's what we've decided to call this cat. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Yuri comes running up, and the kitten's never seen, at least since I got her, another cat aside from my own, Koopa. So she didn't seem super phased till Koopa came barreling out of the house at lightning speed and attacks Yuri. I think he was worried, trying to take care of his little sister, Lucy. He was being a good boy. But I have to break up a cat fight on my back deck. And if you've ever had to break up a cat fight, you know how stressful that can be. Because cats, when they're in feral mode, they can really mess you up. Thankfully, that did not happen. And I felt bad because I had to chase Yuri away. Like, get! And I'm running after a cat. It jumps over the fence. And then both my cats are all freaked out, puffed up, worked up. And by that point, I'm like, all right, I guess I'm done with the evening. I'm not going to accomplish anything. I can't take this. And were these that big of a deal? Paying bills and breaking up a cat fight? No, but I was, feeling overwhelmed yesterday. And the day before that, it was just a variety of other things that were eating up my time. Next thing I know, it's 6 o'clock. And I get off work at 3. Go to bed, try to go to bed, 8:30. Nothing worse than just seemingly having no free time. And the day-to-day, just minutia, getting to you. I know these are major first world problems. Oh, my neighbor talked to me for about 45 minutes. Not a big deal, right? It's good to have friendly neighbors. But it's I had things to do. I got places I need to be. I got some running around that has to get done. I just spent all my money on bills. I need to be sitting in front of my TV playing Red Dead yet again. But I will say, at the end of everything, when I do finally sit down, as of late, and just play Red Dead, yes, I've wasted many days of my life doing that. It's very soothing and relaxing. So I'm grateful for Red Dead. Back in the day, I'd throw on Grand Theft Auto and just go on, these mayhem sprees. Now I just ride the digital horse. It's very chill. Hey, before we get to a creepy Halloween song, thanks to our friends at No Limit Guitar Company sponsoring our Rockin' Halloween this entire month, let's talk about another thing No Limit Guitar Company is doing for you. Hooking you up with a chance to win all kinds of awesome music gear. Holy cow, you got to get in on this drawing. We've got piles of prizes that we're going to give away on Halloween Day from No Limit Guitar Company in Idaho Falls and Pocatello. We got an awesome guitar and amp setup with an LTD guitar as well as a PRS amp, $1,700 value. One grand prize winner going to take that home. But we've got a bunch of secondary prizes as well, like a Yamaha amp, a ukulele, a Fishman acoustic pickup. We've got a sweet guitar pedal, an overdrive pedal. All kinds of great stuff thanks to our friends at No Limit. If you want to get in to win, super easy. Sign up in the K-Bear and All Taps. And also, if you happen to purchase anything at No Limit during their 6-year anniversary sale, which is happening right now, you get an extra entry into that drawing. You've got till Halloween Day to get in to win. And I'm wishing you lots of luck. This is one of those prize packages that I'm so jealous of. Even though I have a guitar and I have amps, you can always use more. Every guitar player knows that. So you might as well try to win some free stuff. Free awesome stuff from K-Bear and No Limit Guitar Company. Get in to win right now. All right, I said yesterday that I was going to beat this into your heads until it's over. You need to get out and vote. Yeah, early voting has begun. at least in Bonneville County. I would assume most areas of East Idaho. I haven't looked into, Bannock County, Bingham County, etc., because I don't live there. And I was just checking to see if I could go early vote. So get registered to vote. You can register at the polls in Idaho. Just bring your ID and some kind of proof of residency, like a utility bill or something like that. But get out and vote. Lots of important initiatives locally, lots of important local races, and of course the big presidential race. Make your voice be heard. Don't let anybody tell you your vote doesn't matter. It's a bunch of bull crap. It does matter. It's very important, especially in our local races. All right? You can feel how you want to feel about the Electoral College and blah, blah, blah. But even with that, your vote is still very important. And again, especially in these local races and the local initiatives that are going to be decided with the upcoming election. So might as well get it done early. I would imagine that the lines are shorter for early voting than election day. And all you've got to do is hit up your local election office. You could also go to, I believe it's vote.gov. Make sure you're registered, find your polling place, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to say it every day until the election. Get out and vote. Make your voice heard. Because let's see some record turnout. Voter turnout always sucks. And it's kind of mind-boggling. You'll have a lot of people who are registered to vote and then don't vote. You might as well. You might as well vote. Every vote is very important. So do it. Do it, I command you. I think I just, kind of brought my day down a notch. I decided I'd better make a YouTube video because I haven't made one in a bit. So I decided to do a reaction to the new song from Morgan Wallen. I don't know if you're familiar with Morgan Wallen. He's like the biggest superstar in the country music world. And it's kind of like how Taylor Swift is the biggest star in the pop world. I just don't quite get it. They make songs that they're okay, they're fine enough, but to be that insanely popular, I'm just like, what am I missing here? There's country music I can listen to and I go, all right, this is legit. We got something going on here. We got some quality songwriting. We've got some original sound. And everything that I hear from Morgan Wallen is just mid. And that, I'm sure, makes a lot of country music fans mad. But that's just my personal taste. I just don't understand it. In the new song, I'm like, okay, it was a song. But I'm sure it's going to be a massive hit song. I don't know, I just don't get the really popular end of that world. And I guess it goes that way with pretty much any format of music. I could think about the biggest bands in rock. And most of the biggest bands in rock, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe the biggest bands in modern rock. Maybe I am the old guy. Because a lot of them I'm like, yeah, they're all right. They're not like terrible, but I'm not going to turn them on in my spare time. If I'm going to throw on an album, it tends to end up being a little bit more underground. Or so I'd like to say. Because I do often enough throw on Tool, who's a big band. I love the Beatles, the biggest band of all time. Sleep Token, newer band, super huge. Love them. But some of the others, I just can't connect with it. It's very strange. I don't know. I'll have that video up in a few if you want to check it out on the K-Bear YouTube page. If you haven't followed us yet, you should. We're working on getting quality content up for your enjoyment. It's K-Bear 101 RMG, as in Riverbend Media Group. K-Bear 101 RMG on YouTube. Please follow us. Subscribe. Watch the videos, comment on them, whatever. Spread the word to your friends. And I don't know, the video I'm going to put up, I hope it doesn't make Morgan Wallen fans mad. Are they as feisty as like K-pop fans? Maybe I need to do a K-pop video or a Taylor Swift video. Has she put out a new video? I don't know. Do I want to get the Swifties attacking us? Maybe. Probably not, though. They're crazy. They're crazy. So anyway, that's what I was up to the last few minutes, and I should have picked something different because I was like, that did not enhance my day to listen to the new song from Morgan Wallen. But I can tell you one thing about the new song from Morgan Wallen. if you're into country music, you'll hear it on 105 The Hawk. I put it in rotation yesterday without even listening to it. Very rare that I would do that with a song, but it's like if Taylor Swift puts out a song. I just go, okay, yeah, everybody on that station's going to like it. Let's go ahead and put it out there. All right, we got a caller. Hopefully they're on topic. K-Bear, you were live on the show. Keep that in mind. Who's this?
Hey, Victor, this is Jonathan.
Jonathan, what's up, dude?
Hey, so I just heard your spiel about Morgan Wallen's new song, about your reaction to it, okay?
Yeah.
So I can totally agree with that, and this is just my opinion. I'm probably going to offend a lot of newer listener to country people, but I don't think Morgan Wallen is country.
He has a lot of songs that I would definitely classify as pop. I mean, he has some songs that sound kind of, just straight country to me. But this new song, as I mentioned in the reaction, like, I won't be surprised if we put that on Z103. So,
Well, yeah, but that's another thing is, like, I don't hardly listen to the country radio anymore just because it's not country. Like, the only one that I've heard so far, at least out of the new artists, would be like Zach Bryan or maybe some of Lainey Wilson's songs, at least like Heart Like a Truck. I disagree with the new country artists. I don't think they're country. I think it's more leaning in towards pop, which they could say, the same thing for metal, right? There's a lot of mixed genres for metal. You got like Ronnie Radke or Ice Nine Kills even, stuff like them. I don't think it's country. Morgan Wallen, when he first came out, I think it was like 2016, he had great songs, they were really popular, and then he just got more into just pop.
Yeah.
And I disagree with it.
Yeah, well, it paid off for him, that's for sure. But
for sure.
Yeah, what's unfortunate about country radio is that, there is a lot of very pop-oriented country music that's popular. But you mentioned Zach Bryan. I mean, 105 The Hawk is like literally one of the only stations in the entire country that plays Zach Bryan on country radio. And there's a bunch of other artists like Tyler Childers and Coulter Wall and Sturgill Simpson. And country radio gives zero love to any of these artists. And I mean, those artists are big. Zach Bryan is as big as Morgan Wallen, and country radio still has not embraced him, which is wild to me. I don't understand it at all.
Oh, I know. Well, like 105 The Hawk, one of their deals that it says on there is like, if you want to hear country music, like, this artist, this artist, this artist, and it plays their, like a snippet of their song, and it goes into Coulter Wall, Tyler Childers, Sturgill Simpsons. It plays all those, but they don't play the artist.
They're on there, man. Guaranteed. I mean, I know especially like Zach Bryan, he gets beaten to death over on the Hawk, but there's Sturgill in the playlist and Coulter Wall, all those artists you mentioned. I mean, country, music in general is kind of dominated by a lot of the other stuff, and there's a lot more as far as really popular artists. There's a lot more in the mainstream, kind of pop genre. So, you've got a lot more artists that you're putting in the playlist than those few that are kind of outside of the norm and extremely popular. But there's a lot of stuff on there you're not going to hear anywhere else, man. But if you listen during Bobby Bones, it's a syndicated show in the morning, and they're not going to play any of that stuff. So, kicking off at 10 a.m.'s when the Hawk becomes the Hawkeye program. So
that's true. Yeah, that's fair. Which I can understand, like a bunch of people, like these artists, like their songs right now, like Luke Combs, Jelly Roll, Morgan Wallen, the new, I forgot her name, but like new female country artists, like they like their songs, which I get, I understand, it goes with the time, but why not play old or I would say, underground country music, right? Or at least underrated country artists that aren't admired as much, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like Coulter Wall, Zach Bryan, Tyler Childers, what's his name?
And dude, if you're really into that kind of stuff, you know, we do have 105 Outlaw, which, you know, you can pick up if you have an HD radio in your vehicle, you can pick that up on the 105 The Hawk signal. It's channel 2, I believe. But if you get the app for 105 Outlaw, it's all centric on that, you know, kind of underground, more gritty country and even some gritty Southern rock music and things like that. So I definitely recommend checking out 105 Outlaw if that's your flavor in country.
Nice. Well, I mean, country, right, would be, if you go back to older times, I'm 23, so older times would be, you know, Hank, Johnny Cash, Hank Sr., you know, all of them, right? And then it just progressed over time into more country pop, or whatever you want to call it, country rap, country rock, like Hardy, which I do like Hardy.
Yeah, he's got a couple. I mean? He's got a couple really good songs. The one he did with Lainey Wilson, I thought was an excellent song.
I haven't heard that one yet.
What's it called? Like Get in the Truck? Is that what it's called?
Oh, I did hear that one. I don't like it.
I thought it was pretty good, but I did watch the music video that goes along with it, and it just reminded me of an old school storytelling style country song. You know, finds a girl on the road, she's beat up, goes to the trailer, shoot the guy, go to jail. It was, you know, just kind of an old fashioned as far as the themes goes. Yeah. But yet Hardy definitely has a lot of very poppy and, like you said, sometimes hip hop feeling tunes. So
yeah, which I do like. I think country songs nowadays should be more storytelling. Like Get in the Truck, or there's another guy, I think it's like Josh Moore or something like that.
Yeah.
I think there should be more storytelling songs, right? Like it flows with everyday life, not just about breakups or what have you, you know, like a guy cheats on a girl or whatever, you know. I think it should be more into storytelling because it gets the listener interested in the song and it makes them follow through instead of just listening to the song. Oh,
totally agree, man.
You know?
Yeah, like, you know, Coulter Wall's Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon. Oh, my favorite song ever.
It's a great song, great tune. And yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I do see things in the country music world kind of veering in the direction of a more traditional sound, especially with artists like Zach Bryan blowing up. But as with everything in radio, radio's always a few years behind. So, you know, you probably give it another 2 years and they'll start pounding all these artists that we're talking about right now. Yeah, but, you know, it's like in the rock world. I mean, nobody in rock is playing Ice Nine Kills. You know, it's really sad. I don't understand it. You know, Bring Me the Horizon doesn't get any love either. Bad Omens had to, you know, blow up so huge. I mean, we were playing them for years before radio jumped on board. So radio's a strange world, man, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, appreciate the call today, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I stay listening.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a great rest of the week.
Awesome. You too. Thank you.
Right on. Peace, man.
Peace.
All right. Caller, thank you for being so patient. Who's this?
Victor, good morning.
It's the Redneck. What's up, dude?
Well, I was going to say, let's just throw some people into a tailspin and do a little bit of Bolt and get some Corey Marks on there with Sully Erna, Let My Country Rock.
Well, we actually put that song into rotation. There was enough of a positive response. It was like 50-50. People either loved it or hated it. And I like to put songs like that in rotation. You know, it's not about my personal taste, what we play on this station. You know, if half the listeners are digging that, I want to make sure everybody's getting to hear stuff they like to hear. So you'll be hearing that song, man. It's in.
I appreciate it. Well, he's got another good one that he did with Ivan Moody called the Outlaws and Outsiders.
Yeah, and we played that one for quite a while. That one's still on the Hawk as well. And I know Justin played Make My Country Rock on the Hawk yesterday. So lots of love for Corey Marks over there. He's a really nice guy. So he's great.
All righty, I appreciate it, Victor. Thank you. Have yourself a good day.
You too, man. Peace. We got Halloween approaching. Let's talk about something scary. Yeah, disasters. I like a good natural disaster story. Well, how about disasters that are very likely to happen, but not many people know about them? This sounds like a blast to me. All right, we're keeping it lighthearted and fun. Let's begin with a major fissure eruption in southeast Iceland. Since the Norse settlement there have been two, the Elja eruption and the Lakagur eruption of 1783. I don't know if I said those right. I probably didn't. Right, they say, although Elja was larger, the massive Laki eruption is better documented. It created local devastation, crop failures, poisoned grazing animals and people. Half of the farm animals and 20% of Icelanders died. Things got so bad that the Danish government considered evacuating the entire island. So they're saying that the Laki plume of sulfur dioxide spread across the northern hemisphere. In the UK, it killed tens of thousands of people. Elsewhere, crop failures, poisonous fogs. The climate went berserk with a series of bitterly cold winters that caused the Mississippi to freeze in New Orleans and the ice flows in the Gulf of Mexico. Rains in the Nile Valley. Monsoons in India and China failed, leading to famine. Total death toll in the 18th century, anything up to 1 million people. Wow, that's fun, huh? Fun. Yeah, a major fissure eruption in southeast Iceland. I hadn't heard about that one, had you? No, had not heard about that potential disaster. We all hear about Yellowstone, San Andreas. Nothing about fissures in Iceland. All right, a powerful earthquake along the New Madrid Fault in Missouri. Yeah, I definitely don't think about the Midwest as being a place where you may experience a catastrophic earthquake. But people in the comments, yeah, my first thought as well. Only learned about it growing up in Illinois because I took a geology course in college. Midwest isn't super known for earthquakes, and if it happens, it'll probably be exceedingly bad. Not like they build houses to be quake resistant, usually. That's the problem with some of these earthquakes. Like if you live in a brick house, the Three Little Pigs, he built his house out of bricks. Maybe it was concrete. I don't know. No, I think you're better off with a house made of wood. Maybe not if you're dealing with, is brick better in the case of a, hurricane, tornado? I don't know. But you start shaking something around, bricks just crumble. All right, what other terrible disasters that are very likely to happen that people don't know about do we got on the list here? The ocean fisheries will collapse. Yesterday's trash species are today's featured catch of the day. Will be tomorrow's memory. Harvesting is occurring at unsustainable rates while environmental degradation is steadily reducing habitat and forest ranges. For many people in developed nations, fish is one option among many for protein. For most people in developing nations, it is the cheapest and most accessible option. When it's gone, there will be catastrophic socio-political and economic upheaval. Save the fish! I hadn't heard about that. I mean, maybe a little bit. What else do we got here? Oh, this one's one of my favorites. The Cascadia Subduction Zone off the coast of the Pacific Northwest will rip again. Now, I've talked about this before. This is going to cause major devastation to most of the west coast of the United States when it happens. Like the worst earthquake imaginable. They call them megathrust earthquakes. See, I'm not even reading the post here. I've watched a lot of videos about this. So you'll get like top of the Richter scale earthquake that shakes for 5 minutes, and it's going to go from like Northern California all the way up to Vancouver, Canada. And after 5 minutes of shaking, then the tsunami hits the West Coast. And places like Seaside, Oregon, they're just gone. Yeah, I've read before that like anything west of Interstate 5, which is pretty far inland, gonna be seriously messed up, especially if the entire fault rips. So I actually texted my daughter in Washington the other day and was like, hey, I know I told you about this a while back, but since this could happen at any time, are you and your roommates prepared for a potential earthquake? You need to get an earthquake preparedness kit going on. I sent her a bunch of links. She's like, okay, Dad, I will. She better. Serious business. Yeah, terrifying if you actually look into this thing. And it happens about every 300 years. I want to say the last time that the quake happened was the year 1700. It's technically overdue, and it's very regular as far as how often it happens, and it's just building and building, getting ready to snap. Yeah, you know, people who live on the West Coast, people who live in like Portland or Seattle, that earthquake's gonna shake Portland and Seattle like nothing else. All right, brick buildings crumbling to the ground, major devastation. Hey, come on, settle down. I'm not trying to, bum your day out here. It's just a little bit of, hey, what could go wrong in the world? Might make you feel better about your day. Everybody all worked up about things like the election and things like that. None of that matters when you're in the middle of a 5-minute, again, top of the Richter scale earthquake that's liquefying the ground in places like Seattle. Yeah. Certainly your stupid Facebook arguments cease to matter. Wow. What else do we have here as far as serious disaster is very likely to happen? An often overlooked disaster is the rapid decline of insects, especially pollinators like bees. Although bee extinction is not immediate, it could have a significant impact on global food resources, ecosystems, and biodiversity. Yeah, have you ever tried to grow anything in a garden? I had to learn a lot when I was trying to grow a few things. It's like, you got to plant a bunch of flowers to try to bring the bees in. These things don't just grow when you water them. Give them some sunshine. No, they got to be pollinated. Gonna get some tomato plants with no tomatoes on them? It's lame. Yeah. Look at this plant. Isn't it beautiful? Where's the fruit, bro? Come on. So, we need to save the bees. And it's funny, I saw a post online the other day about how, especially in the East Coast, and this is something a lady pointed out to me one time, back there, you used to drive anywhere and your windshield would just be splattered with bugs. It's not really that way anymore. Which is kind of strange. Kind of freaky. Anyway, there you go. I hope I brightened up your day. Some natural disaster talk. You're welcome. What's up, Peaches?
Oh, nothing much. Fell asleep pretty early last night. My allergies have been kicking my butt. You know when sinuses kind of like swell up? They feel like you got beat up? Mm-hmm. That was me.
Well, the very first thing that happened to me when I got COVID was sinus pain in my face, Peaches.
And not everything is COVID.
Stay back! No, I should have antibodies after that brutalization. But, have you tried a Zyrtec?
I took some allergy medication yesterday. I feel a lot better after taking that. So,
all right, good. Yeah,
it's usually what happens.
This time of year when everything starts dying outside, kicks up a lot of weird stuff.
A lot of pollen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been taking allergy pills every day because I've noticed a little brutalization going on. So, yeah. Other than that, anything new in your world?
I'll be interviewing somebody from Sleep Theory later today.
Oh, cool. That should be pretty fun. All I've done content-wise was listen to a new song from country superstar Morgan Wallen. I'm posting the video on our Facebook page right now for anybody who wants to hear that mid song.
Mid.
It's pretty mid, as the kids would say. Pretty mid. But I don't know if I've ever been blown away by a Morgan Wallen song. I talked about this a little bit earlier.
They're all the same.
Well, I wouldn't say all his songs are the same, but they're just, I don't know, not my cup of tea if I'm really wanting to listen to country music. I throw on, Sturgill or Billy Strings, something like that.
Coulter Wall.
Cool.
The most boring dude in country music.
His newer stuff, that's very like 50s country sounding. I don't know. I can't get into that
type of stuff. Like the old 50s sound where it's like almost like jumpy.
I like his older stuff that sounded like, just Johnny Cash ripoff stuff. Those songs were better.
Way better. Coulter Wall.
Johnny Cash is another artist that he has some songs that I think are really good, but then a lot of his stuff I'm not into. I'm not super into country music to begin with, so
me neither.
Hard for me to find stuff that I'm gonna really dig. I think probably Tyler Childers and Billy Strings are the best of the bunch.
Post Malone?
No, not Post Malone. Post Malone teams up very well with Morgan Wallen. Though Post Malone, he's another artist that I guess I have heard some songs from him that are pretty decent. What I wish he would do, though, is just go full-fledged rock or metal. Because did you ever see the video of him at his house playing a full set of Nirvana songs?
I've seen Post actually do screams on stage.
Yeah, and I think he could totally kill it in the rock and metal world. But if you want to make money right now, you put out country music.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, clearly. Because some of the biggest stars in the world right now are people like Morgan Wallen, Zach Bryan. Might as well jump in the mix. Post Malone came out of the gate, did a song with Morgan Wallen. It was massive, And I don't think it was a very good song myself. But, most of the things that are really popular, I don't understand.
Yeah, I liked it, though.
Like Taylor Swift. I don't understand why she's so popular. Her songs are okay. They're mid.
The song that Post Malone put out on his latest album with Jelly Roll called Losers, that's pretty fun.
I haven't listened to that one. I listened to the one he did with Morgan Wallen, and then the one he did with, I think, Luke Combs. He did a song with basically every country artist.
Did he do one with Dolly Parton and also Reba?
Maybe. I don't know, because he did a song with so many different people on that album that I can't remember them all. But, Post Malone's a guy I'd like to meet. I think he'd be fun to hang out with. Seems like he'd be a really nice guy. Anybody who knows Post down in Salt Lake, tell him to come hang out on the rock station. We'll have a good time. Anyway, that's what I've been up to.
I'm looking at
just watching country music videos.
I'm looking at the album here. Tim McGraw, Hank Williams Jr., Morgan Wallen, Blake Shelton, Dolly Parton, Brad Paisley, Luke Combs, Lainey Wilson, Jelly Roll, Ernest, Sierra Farrell, Luke Combs, Chris Stapleton, Hardy, and Billy Strings.
So, yeah, just about everybody. I'll have to check out the one he did with Billy Strings, because Billy Strings is great. He's a bluegrass player, but, the guy, a lot of bluegrass players, really shred.
Oh, yeah.
But I think Billy Strings, he's another guy I'd like to talk to sometime. He's got to listen to stuff like Opeth, because there's a few songs he's put out that are very in that progressive metal realm.
You find out he's a huge fan of Buried Alive?
Maybe. He came out and ripped a solo with Tool in Salt Lake. So he's got to be into metal somewhat. But I'm not going to chuck any Billy Strings on air, listeners. Don't worry. Even though with all the times I've tortured listeners with country music, I could probably once in a while torture them with some good country music. I always go with the worst.
You did play Olivia Rodrigo for a little while there.
Yeah.
You had
which that was fine.
You had me play that Corey Marks song that's very country sounding.
I put it in rotation too.
Okay.
Yep.
Corey Marks is he was very happy on Twitter. He replied to us and
he's a very nice dude.
Yeah.
And with listener feedback on songs, if half the listeners like it and half the listeners hate it, that's like the perfect song to put on air, because people are going to get mad or they're going to get excited. And both of those result in them calling us and being like, thank you, or what's wrong with you guys? I hate your guts. Why are you playing this? And I like the interaction. It's what it's all about. So,
well, I got another one of those songs coming your way this evening now.
Yeah, I forget the name of the artist.
Spit Cup, Ryan Jesse.
Yeah, and this one's supposed to be like a rock song. I haven't listened to it. A rock song with the southern edge, not a country song that they turn the guitars up a little bit louder on, which happens often, like with Hardy, Jelly Roll, etc. This one's supposed to be a southern rock song.
See, we could have added Shabuzi.
No, we couldn't.
That one was being pushed to rock radio.
Yeah, but that didn't rock in any way.
Not at all.
No. It's on Z103 and Hawk. I mean, to me, I don't know why they consider it a country song. It's a straight pop song.
Listening to the X over in Boise, all they played was Tim Montana Savage, Jelly Roll Liar. Mm-hmm. They played that What I Got song from Sublime, which I immediately turned the station off to.
What I Got.
Yeah.
It's awful. Your favorite, Pete. Just
it's terrible.
But yeah, Jelly Roll Liar, it didn't seem like a good fit. Tim Montana didn't have numbers that I was looking for. You know, if it's an up-and-coming artist and it's a really good song, you know, might go for it. But I wasn't blown away by Tim Montana. So, nope. Good enough songs. We play some of his stuff on the Hawk as well.
The one guy that I was, like, noticing people were freaking out about that I just, for some reason, cannot stand, the Jarris Johnson guy.
Yeah,
all that stuff is just
he's
generic
put out
and terrible.
some songs that I thought were pretty decent. Some stuff that, you know, I mean, nothing that's blown my mind.
Right.
You know, I've never been like, wow, that's, you know, amazing.
People were like going nuts about this guy.
Some people really love him, you know. Everybody's taste very different. So, you Morgan Wallen fans, you can check out my reaction to his new song, Love Somebody, on our Facebook page here in just a minute. I'm almost done uploading it. Hang on. Call me up. We do it live. We don't monkey around. We're not one of these radio shows pre-recording, making it all flawless. That is clear if you listen to this show daily. Certainly packed with flubs, packed with content that may or may not even be, you know, compelling whatsoever. But I do my best, people. I do my best, okay? Anybody else out there talking about the Nogathon? Maybe. I just saw this on East Idaho News. This sounds like a dreadful event. For me, anyhow. All right, what is the Nogathon? They hold this in Ammon every year. This year, it's going to be Saturday, November 9th, 2 p.m. at McCowan Park. Here's what you do. You run a quarter mile, then you chug 8 ounces of eggnog. Then you run another quarter mile, 8 more ounces of eggnog. Another quarter mile, 8 ounces of eggnog. And a final quarter mile, 8 ounces of eggnog. That's 32 ounces of eggnog and a mile of running. I guess Pukeathon just, you know, didn't have the same ring as Nogathon. Do people vomit at this? Because if there's a lot of puking, I kind of want to get out on location, not take part in the event myself, but just film it. Because people throwing up eggnog sounds pretty funny to me. Now, puking is not funny to everybody. Some people, it triggers the urge to vomit in them as well. And eggnog, you know, 32 ounces is quite a bit of fluid. And if it all comes up at once, that's a lot of nog puke. Nog puke! Puke nog? I don't know. I'm trying to come up with good local band names. I do like to toss those out as often as I can. But anyway, if you're into running and pounding down eggnog, this might be an event for you. You can register for $15, and there's no like winners or anything like that, but you do get a shirt and a swag bag full of goodies, and then you use the bag that the goodies came in as, you know, your ground sickness bag. It's not an air sick bag. It's just, you know, in the park. So you got the bag to vomit in, a fresh t-shirt to put on after you puke all over yourself. I bet it is pretty fun. And if you want to register, just go to, let's see here. Oh, that's a long link. Okay, what I would do is go to East Idaho News, click on the article, and then click on the link there that'll take you to the City of Ammon website where you can register for the Nogathon. Oh, that is a lot of eggnog. I've never puked up eggnog, but it doesn't sound fun. Maybe it is, though. Sometimes, you know, vomiting is very satisfying. Makes you feel a lot better. So, well, maybe you'll see me there. Thank you again for tuning in to the Victor Welch Show. This program's a production of River. Why can't I say that? God.
To say Riverbend Media Group.
Riverbend Media Group. This program's a production of God. This program's a production of Riverbend Media Group. To contact the show or for more information, hit us up at riverbendmediagroup.com.